Good morning, brothers. Please rise for universal prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom.
O hidden life, vibrant in every atom.
O hidden light, shining in every creature.
O hidden light, shining in every creature.
O hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
O hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
May all who feel themselves as one with Thee
May all who feel themselves as one with Thee
know they are therefore one with every other.
know they are therefore one with every other.
Please be seated. Respected International President Tim Boyd, Madam Lily Boyd, Vice President Nancy Secrest, all the delegates present here and also online, welcome to the Theosophical Order of Service presentation today during this 149 International Convention in the Theosophical Society at Adayar. Permit me to introduce Sister Nancy Secrest. Today she will be presenting about the Theosophical Order of Service work, what is going on. She is International Secretary of Theosophical Order of Service and International Treasurer of Theosophical Society. Nancy Secrest serves as the International Secretary of the Theosophical Order of Service. She began studying metaphysics and comparative religion in childhood, encountered Theosophy in her early 20s, and joined the Theosophical Society in 1980. Nancy lived and worked at the Crotona Theosophical Institute in the USA during 1987 and 88. She served as National Secretary of the Theosophical Society in America from 1988 through 1990. A certified public accountant by profession, Nancy subsequently served as National Treasurer of the Theosophical Society America for 18 years. She currently holds the position of International Treasurer of the Theosophical Society. Nancy became the International Secretary of the Theosophical Order of Service in December 2014. Since then, she has traveled in the USA, Europe, and Asia, giving presentations, talks, and workshops on TOS work around the world and related theosophical topics. Her articles and some of her talks have been published in the Theosophist and other theosophical publications. I would like to add that she is being here in Adayar since 7.5 years. I know her, and have the opportunity to work with her. It is a great privilege and honor to invite to speak, and you will have beautiful PowerPoint presentation to know what is going on around the world in the Theosophical Order of Service sphere. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you.
My name is Sivaprasad. I am National Director of TOS in India.
It's really, really nice to be here this morning with all of you, brothers and sisters. My heart is full. I don't know what else to say. The original title to my talk, I don't even remember. Last week, I decided to change it to what you see there, a spiritual intelligence living in a practical world, and you will see why as this talk progresses. But that line came to me, and I really like it, so that's what I changed my talk to. Okay. Annie Besant said, "Man is a spiritual intelligence who has taken flesh with the object of gaining experience in worlds below the spiritual in order that he may be able to master and rule them, and in later ages take his place in the creative and directing hierarchies of the universe. Annie Besant was the second president of the Theosophical Society. She founded the Theosophical Order of Service and published its provisional constitution in the 1908 supplement to the Theosophist. The resulting document stated its purpose and its structure of governance. The document acknowledged that Besant had founded the Theosophical Society, as it was called then, Theosophical Society, Order of Service, at the behest of members who wanted to put the first object of the society into action. And as we all know, the first object is to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity, regardless of race, creed, sex, caste, or color. This is still true today and is one of the main reasons for the existence of the TOS. Then, in March 1908, issue of the Theosophist, Besant acknowledged that her inspiration for the founding of the TS Order of Service might be found in an article written by a master of the wisdom and printed by HPB in an early number of Lucifer. The master's article, entitled "Some Words on Daily Life," said, "Theosophy should not represent merely a collection of moral verities, a bundle of metaphysical ethics epitomized in theoretical dissertations. Theosophy must be made practical, and it has, therefore, to be disencumbered of useless digressions in the sense of desultory orations and fine talk. Let every theosophist do only his duty, that which he can and ought to do, and very soon the sum of human misery within and around the areas of every branch of your society will be found visibly diminished. Forget self in working for others, and the task will become an easy and a light one for you." We heard these same sentiments yesterday in Linda's talk, when she was talking about turning ourselves into the gold, into the spirit, and that it had to start with practical things. And Shikar mentioned the same thing in his talk yesterday. It was I found it very heartening to hear that. Well, the master's article and members' requests may have been the immediate inspiration and impetus for the founding of the TS Order of Service. Besant herself had had a commitment to service since childhood. By the time she became international president of the society, Besant had been a prominent social activist for many years. She worked for the betterment of the poor, for better working hours, better labor conditions, safer working conditions, and women's suffrage. The experience Dr. Besant brought to the TS in its formative years, was rich, and her writings often spoke of duty, of altruism, of selfless service. This is reflected in the twofold purpose of the TOS, which remains the same today as at its inception: the unselfish service of the needy and suffering, and the inner transformation of the server. Unselfish service based on good intentions adds purity of service to our work. Therefore, while TOS workers put their attention on the first purpose, the second one takes care of itself, internally and unconsciously. I found this not long ago. I really like it. Albert Einstein put it well when he said, "A human being is part of a whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, his feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness." Isn't that great? Optical delusion of consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal drives and to affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task needs to be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. So our experience of ourselves and the universe is, according to Einstein, an optical delusion of consciousness. What we think we are seeing is a delusion, a maya. It isn't the reality. How should we be seeing ourselves and the universe? Ultimately, I think we will come to know that, as Annie Besant said, there is no other in this world. Each is a different form, but one spirit lives and moves in all. When we look at it this way, we know that by serving others, we serve ourselves. We can see that in the TOS, service work goes beyond feeding the body or the mind. It is a spiritual path that, when trodden consciously and selflessly, serves the giver as much as the receiver. Besant said that one spirit lives and moves in all. Einstein suggests that in order to free ourselves from an optical delusion of consciousness, we need to widen our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. It sounds overwhelming, doesn't it? However, as time goes on, we have found that and are finding more and more ways to make the world a smaller place. In days past, such events as the Black Death, plagues, and things such as influenza as epidemics devastated large groups of people. Even so, they were limited by the inability of the average person to travel long distances. In our recent past, due to the ability to travel easily and widely, the whole world experienced a pandemic. One can say then that the world has, in effect, become smaller. An offshoot of this phenomenon is that as the world gets smaller in this way, it is easier to see that we all share the same basic needs and have the same basic rights to shelter, food, clean water, opportunities to provide for ourselves and our children, human dignity, respect, justice, freedom, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. The smaller the world becomes for us, and the easier it is to connect with each other, the more we understand each other. The more we understand each other, the more apparent the oneness of all life becomes to us. Along those lines, the TOS works in several principal areas of concern: education, peace, social services, healing, arts and music, animal welfare, the environment, and emergency relief. One positive outcome from the pandemic a few years ago was the advent of virtual meetings and programs, as it was found that virtual presentations allow us to reach many more people than localized physical programs do. TOS online programs continue to be presented by India, the Philippines, Argentina, and other countries, and Adyar, with both local and international participation. Notwithstanding, physical programs continue to be popular and necessary interactions, as nothing can replace the face-to-face relationships formed by members working together. The TOS participates in both kinds of programs. In November 2023, International Secretary Nancy Secrest gave an online talk about the TOS to Russian TS members looking to begin TOS activity in their country. The TOS annual report was presented at the 148th TS Convention on 3 January 2024. The presentation was enhanced by dancers from the Sri Arinodayam Home for Mentally Challenged Destitute Children. In February 2024, Nancy gave the talk Altruism, Compassion, and Service as part of the TS Libraries as Communities series at the Adyar Library. Another online talk was given for the Brazilian section on forming a nucleus of brotherhood in June 2024. Much of TOS President Tim Boyd's time is spent in visiting and speaking at various sections, including paying visits or giving talks at TOS venues. Thinking back to the quotes we read earlier from Annie Besant and Albert Einstein, Besant said that one spirit lives and moves in all. Einstein intimated that we are living under a delusion, optical delusion of consciousness, and that we can free ourselves from this delusion by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. I would say that this means we are a spiritual intelligence living in a practical world. According to our dual purpose, one can say that the work of the TOS is to enhance the spiritual by addressing the practical. And that's what we do through service to humanity. Today, the TOS is active in 36 countries around the world, doing humanitarian work based on spiritual concepts. Today, as in the beginning, TOS workers find a joy and freedom in their work. Let's take a look at some of it. This year, Erica Chavez from TOS Argentina took over the directorships there, and Martine Achambalt became the director of the TOS Canada. After 13 years of operation and charity work, the TOS Hungary had to close its mission, although healing sessions continue. Sadly, we say goodbye to two outstanding TOS directors this year. Brother B.L. Bhattacharya, known to many of you here today, was the former director of the TOS in India for many years. He passed away on 11 March 2024. The president of the TOS Pakistan, Brother Hamid Mayet, passed away on 5 July 2024. Both men were devoted workers for the TOS and dedicated servers of humanity. They will be missed. Each year, especially the last few years, I'm surprised by innovative new programs that our TOS groups come up with. Several TOS countries began new programs this year. The Odisha TOS, always a leader, Deepa, in the Odisha TOS in India began a paper plate making industry. This will supply jobs to some individuals, helping them to support their families. And here we see the paper plate making machine. And these ladies on the right these are tribal women. They're doing this as well. The Akola TOS, also in India, distributed solar lamps to a small village that does not have electricity. The Spanish TOS created a foundation. This one really surprised me that somebody even thought of doing this. But they created a foundation that will help to finance its projects for sustainability into the future. This year, the TOS in the USA extended its assistance to Native Americans by supporting 2 new projects which help to ease 2 major causes of suffering on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. 1, poverty due to lack of jobs, and 2, a severe housing shortage. To help ease the housing shortage, they gave a grant to the InOurHands.love, a nonprofit working with Chief Henry Red Cloud. Aaron and Jason, 2 men from the InOurHands.love, invented a new construction method using cellular concrete and inflatable bags that resulted in dome homes. Looks like a little igloo, doesn't it? 2-story tiny homes which are hyper-insulative and are impervious to rot and mold, pest, insects, high wind, tornadoes, and fire. The homes can be built quickly and at low cost. 3 dome homes were built at Pine Ridge during the summer of 2024, and they hope to scale up production by training veterans of war to lead construction crews. Well, these homes aren't for everyone. They are enthusiastically approved by the Lakota tribal president and would be a wonderful alternative to an overcrowded home for a newlywed couple or a young family. Multiple homes can be combined for a larger living space. To me, it's amazing because they don't look like much from the outside. You know, it looks pretty crude, really. But look inside. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and very utilitarian, many space savers and all of that. Unlike other TOS projects that may be limited in scope to the group's local area, disaster relief is a concern that we tend to respond to on an international level. In recent years, the TOS worldwide has responded by raising funds to help with cleanup efforts, rebuilding and supplying food and water to those displaced by natural disasters. As always, TOS members are there to help. This year, help was given to victims of floods and landslides in India and Bangladesh. Man-made disasters, such as war, also take their toll. While the TOS does not involve itself in politics, we are dedicated to giving humanitarian aid wherever necessary. Generous support continued for assistance to refugees from the war between Russia and Ukraine. The donations went to help with food, shelter, clothing, medical aid, school supplies, and other items. In particular, The financial collaboration between TOS Spain and Association for Defense of Human Rights in Ukraine, which was initiated in March 2022, significantly strengthened during 2024. Spain's initial contributions became more regular and significant since the Ukrainian need for help is ever increasing every day as a result of the overall destruction of the civil infrastructures all over the country and its consequences on the civil population. On a more personal level, funds from the TOS USA were used to help Tatiana, a former resident of Volchansk, who suffered debilitating shoulder and elbow injuries while escaping her apartment during a missile attack in May 2024. Tatiana will ultimately need a second surgery, and she has already undergone extensive therapy in Kharkiv. Tatiana lost everything and is living in a dormitory with other displaced citizens. Since 2013, TOS Italy has been active with projects to support the Syrian people fleeing war. The projects responded to emergency requests from the Bab al-Salam refugee camp in Syria. The work the TOS in Italy has been doing to aid Syrian refugees has inspired much interest and respect, not just in the Theosophical Society, but across the Theosophical movement. The Italian TOS has sent medicine, food, clothing, much-needed footwear, tents, and more recently, stoves to those in camps and elsewhere. Of vital importance is the presence of Dr. Ali Nassar, a Syrian refugee now living in Turkey with his family, who immediately activated himself in medical assistance, especially for children. Subsequently, thanks to the commitment of other associations and the many donations, at the suggestion of Dr. Nassar, 2 containers with the function of a pediatric clinic were installed. The clinic, managed by him, is still active today and has been fully funded by TOS Italy. The TOS USA also sent support to Wanera.org, an American nonprofit helping refugees in Gaza with food, clean water, emotional support, medical treatment and supplies, warm blankets and winter clothing, plus mattresses, tents, and building supplies. Teddy bears, knitted by English, Italian, and French TOS members, made their way to many children affected by some of these disasters. Psychologists have shown that having a soft and cuddly friend to hang on to during stressful times is beneficial to small children. The TOS in England leads the way with this project. As of the last report, the TOS England had shipped over 29,300 teddies overseas. That's actually last year's figures. I don't have one for this year, but it's got to be much more. Thanks to the generosity of 2 charities, International Aid Trust and Furniture for Education Worldwide, who conveys the teddies free of charge. Many TOS groups focus their attention on providing or supporting schools, particularly those that teach the children theosophical concepts and virtues. Helping children is close to the hearts of many theosophists. Of course, the largest and most successful of these efforts is the Golden Link College. The Golden Link School, established by the Theosophical Order of Service in the Philippines, has been providing transformational education for less privileged children since 2002. 85% of the student body is on scholarship. The school is regarded as a model of theosophy in action throughout the theosophical world. Besides teaching core academics, the school teaches meditation and focuses on developing character, integrity, and self-confidence in the students. At the college level, courses in theosophy are part of the core curriculum. These qualities of character will be communicated to others throughout the students' lives, with the potential of causing positive changes in the world that promote peace and harmony. The Adyar Theosophical Academy has followed suit. The school is located on the Society's campus in Chennai, India. ATA, as we call it, is now in its 5th year of operation. Actually, I think it's the 6th, and added a 7th standard this year. A new campus is planned on the Kirby Gardens site within the grounds of the Theosophical Society that will serve grades 1 through 12. The initial groundbreaking is scheduled for this month, January 2025. Phase 1 will be ready for students in June 2026. The TS would greatly appreciate donations to fund the construction of this campus. The Alcott Memorial Higher Secondary School and the Social Welfare Center at Adyar, Chennai, India, also received facelifts this year. Alcott school classrooms are being renovated due to the generosity of a local construction company. They are doing this totally on their own. It isn't even considered CSR donations. And there will be an excursion on Saturday at 10 a.m. to go take a look at what they've done. I myself have not yet seen it, and I'm really looking forward to that. The TOS in Finland, along with other TOS groups, supports the work of the Alcott School. The Alcott School was begun in 1894 by Colonel Henry Steele Alcott to provide a solid education for underprivileged boys and girls in Adyar, a suburb of Chennai in India. The Social Welfare Center cares for small children from the local area, allowing their mothers to attend the Vocational Training Center, where they learn fabric arts such as sewing, tailoring, embroidery, and weaving. Many other TOS groups, particularly in India, run schools or educational programs for children, and TOS members around the world sponsor the education of many hundreds of others. These include a school in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, sponsored jointly by the French TOS and the Liberal Catholic Church. The TOS in Pakistan provides 15 home schools for over 300 children, focusing on girls who would otherwise not be able to get an education. The TOSs in Australia, New Zealand, Italy, and the USA all support individual home schools there. It costs approximately $1,500 US per year to support a home school. These schools of literacy, founded by the Theosophical Order of Service in Pakistan, take their distinctive name from Quandil, which means lantern, and symbolizes the light of knowledge. It employs teachers who reside in poor areas of the country and who reserve a room during the day of the 2 that usually make up their home to make it a classroom. The TOS provides them with whiteboards, mats for children to sit on, stationery, etc. The children learn basic educational tools of reading, writing, arithmetic, and various social skills. The TOS Pakistan also provides nursing scholarships to young women. This program was initially run jointly by the UN Women's Guild and the TOS in Pakistan. It now relies on donations from the TOS and others, but it's struggling. It costs $900 American per student per year to fund this program. TOS Pakistan also works with the Montessori teacher training. Members there are strong in their resolve to continue their various programs. The TOS in Italy helps to support the Little Flower Convent School for the Deaf, located in Chennai, India. Founded in 1926 by missionaries of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the Little Flower Convent was recognized by the government of Tamil Nadu in 1931. It became a secondary school in 1968. It welcomes 800 deaf children and young people, giving them the opportunity to obtain a recognized diploma. The convent also welcomes and gives the opportunity to work for blind people who are otherwise condemned to survive on the margins of society in conditions of poverty. In Sweden, the TOS helps orphans and street children. Many TOS groups offer school supplies to children, such as these from Bangladesh. The TOS in Spain has continued with its support to the NGOs Comparte and Personas, both working in Central America and involved mainly in providing education to the most disadvantaged children, kids, and youngsters in different parts of Latin America. The TOS in Tanzania has many outstanding projects. This year, they purchased desks for students at a local school. They also support students with higher education through their education program. One bright star in the TOS world is our youth group in Tanzania. Getting youth involved in TS and TOS work is something we all struggle with, but in Tanzania they have done it. Brazil, too, does outstanding work with youth. Here we see the Tanzanian TOS youth celebrating with children from the Chinika orphanage, which the TOS there helps to sponsor. Last year, the TOS in Odisha, India, also began a TOS youth group. We are hoping that this concept will spread throughout India and throughout the world. Several years ago, the International TOS declared a worldwide focus on women's issues, and we have extended that ever since then. We asked TOS sections to sign on to this commitment, and several sections did, and are actively supporting women's safety, both outside and inside the home, education for women, equal economic opportunities, and basic human rights. The especially fine work in gender issues of Dr. Deepa Padi and TOS Bhubaneswar in Odisha region attracted significant support from TOS groups in other countries. Dr. Padi tells that the initiative began when her group went to the then governor of the region and solicited his support to put up billboards to educate people about violence toward women in an attempt to stop it. Since then, they have conducted seminars at workplaces, put on street plays, published a journal with many fine articles about women's issues, and a book containing a compilation of these and other articles. Proceeds of the sale from the book, Yes, She Can, go towards support projects for destitute women. They even conduct karate classes for young women. And I saw a demonstration of this when I visited Bhubaneswar a couple of years ago. In addition, sewing machines were purchased with a donation from the TOS New Zealand for use with a vocational training program in the region's slums, and scholarships towards higher education have been given to 25 young women. Yesterday, we heard the governor talk about initiatives to help people with independent avenues of earning income. And as he was speaking, I was thinking about the paper plate making machine and the store, which you'll see in a second, that Odisha has started for very low-income people. And the vocational training that we do here, and the sewing that is done in India, and I just thought, hey, the TOS is right on that. TS is right on that. We're there. We know what you're talking about. Okay. And the donations to the young woman that I just mentioned have been matched by donations from the TOS Italy, doubling their impact. In the Philippines, Women's Month was commemorated with a talk given to acknowledge women who have risen and contributed to social development in various ways. The Alcott Education Society's Women's Vocational Center, while not a TOS program, is a shining example of providing poor women with skills that will help them to be more independent and help to provide for themselves and their families. The center teaches tailoring and weaving. Also, TOS groups in the USA and France help to support shelters for abused women. Recently, the TOS Odisha opened a clothing store where people can donate clothing and small household articles, appliances. Those in need can then visit the store, selecting needed articles at low cost. I used to work for a nonprofit in the United States, and we had such a store. So when this idea first came up, it was sort of like old home week for me, because I was used to that concept. Recently, the TOS Healing Network operates around the world. In many places, healing groups get together, usually weekly, to perform a ritual and healing meditation that calls the devas to assist in healing or a peaceful transition from this life. Names of those in need of healing are submitted by family or friends and are now shared internationally. During the lockdowns, when groups could not meet physically, many began electronic meeting on Zoom or like media. The healing group in Costa Rica invited those from other countries to participate. Members from Paraguay, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico joined those meetings, which continue to be hosted by the Costa Rican OTS. Even though the TOS in Hungary needed to close down its operations, I think that was a government thing, actually, besides the fact that they were losing members. Though the TOS in India had to close down its operations, it still continues its healing group. Since 2012, the TOS group in Washington, D.C., USA, has supported what one member describes as hospice on steroids, Joseph's House, Originally founded by a physician to provide end-of-life care for African American men dying of HIV/AIDS, Joseph's House now cares for both genders and all races, also taking in terminally ill cancer patients. Miss Rosie Ulix of the TOS USA began an animal healing network a number of years ago. Members in Mexico work with Adopto de Corazon, sheltering, feeding, sterilizing, operating, and offering dogs for adoption. In Chennai, while not a TOS program, the Besant Memorial Animal Dispensary has long been a favorite among TOS groups and individuals when deciding where to donate funds. BMAT has grown exponentially in the last 7 years. Not only does it serve dogs and cats on both an inpatient and outpatient basis, it is now home to horses, cows, donkeys, injured monkeys, a parrot, and pigs. We had a camel there too, but unfortunately, he or she, I'm not sure which, passed of old age last year. BMAD helps with the turtle hatching and release program in Chennai each year. The surgeons there have performed thousands of spaying and neutering operations to help hold down the population of street, we call them community, dogs and cats, as well as doing complicated surgeries on major injuries. BMAD now works with the government of India, assisting in a program for wild animals. I'm waiting for our first baby elephant. I keep telling Shravan that. Come on. And in the spirit of ahimsa, several TOS sections, Portugal, Uruguay, and Hungary that I know of, teach vegetarian or vegan cooking classes or have produced DVDs or vegetarian cookbooks. In July 2024, TOS USA organized a trip to Feed My Starving Children, a faith-based organization providing specialized nutrition for the many cases of severe malnutrition and starvation around the world. Their Mana Packs provide life-saving nutrition for 3 different age groups. Many of our TOS groups do similar work to feed hungry in their local areas. In the Philippines, a talk emphasizing nutrition was given, and in Mexico, vegan recipes are shared and taught. Everyone helps prepare the food and enjoy it. In these days of climate change, our precious environment needs healing attention as well. Last year, TOS Mexico took on the task of rehabilitating a park. The daily work continues, planting trees and plants, watering them and cleaning it. The park is becoming very beautiful. It's located in Leon, Guanajuato, Mexico. The work is coordinated by a member of the Lodge of Puebla and supported by donations from the neighbors. That's another example of an initiative that was a surprise. Many, many things that can be done. The TOS is active in 36 countries doing humanitarian service work based on spiritual concepts. Here are some of them. Italy, Hungary, England, France. Many people have asked why there's so much red in this picture. And that's because the day this picture was taken happened to be like an Independence Day for Singapore, and their colors of their flag are red and white. So we all wore red to honor the Singaporeans. That's all. Nothing else. Every year, I ask for reports from the various TOS countries. This year, Canada's report ended this way. Being a Theosophist does not change who you are, but it reveals who you really are. And we have heard that in various talks so far this week. And if we are to keep alive the possibility of spiritual progress in our time, we must create that crack of light that will illuminate our community, our relatives and friends, our neighbors, and our distant ones. We are all compassionate, resilient, honest people whose destiny is linked to that of others. And it's high time that we can reflect this universal truth. As I said, that came from the annual report of the TOS in Canada, and if it's a quote by somebody else, I don't know who that is. I'm attributing it to the director in Canada. Finally, I would like to remind you all of the 5th TOS International Conference that will be held immediately following the World Congress in July 2025. It's 2 days, and it runs from dinner time on the 27th of July until the afternoon of the 29th. And it will be held at the Nest, which is where the rest of the conference will also be held, at the University of British Columbia campus in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Registration is open for both the World Congress and the TOS conference on the World Congress website. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Okay, so thank you very much for your kind attention. And thank you all, because I know many of you are members of the TOS and or work with your TOS groups to provide humanitarian aid to many, many people in many, many different ways. And I look forward to seeing more and more new innovative ideas on how to do this. It just amazes me, the ideas that are out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, and all of us could see on worldwide scale what Theosophical Order of Service activities are going on. It is very enlightening
Yes.
talk, and then
Thank you.
pictures. Thank you very much.
This, I would like to say, this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, I mean, there's no way I can possibly include everything that all of the various TOS groups in the various countries report on. Those, I will say, a plug for pictures, those who send me pictures get first crack at this because I can use them in my presentation. So if you're out there and your group has sent a report, and next year, if you haven't already done it, include some pictures. I'm sorry? Okay, all right. So, okay. So
Thank you, one
that's
and
it.
all.